What's up, llamas? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to explore the possibilities of having a twin that's older than you. In any human body cell, there are 23 chromosomes inside the nucleus. What is a chromosome? A chromosome is just a bundle of DNA. Each half of a chromosome is called a chromatid. So, inside every cell, there are 23 chromosomes and 46 chromatids. Every cell except sperm and egg cells. They still have 23 chromosomes, but each one only has one chromatid. So, inside sperm and egg cells, there are 23 chromosomes and 23 chromatids. This is because the 23 chromatids of the sperm cell are supposed to meet up with the 23 chromatids of the egg cell, creating the genetic code of their child. However, there is one chromatid that doesn't have a match. That chromatid is what decides the gender of the child, and it's a flat 50-50 chance of either one. What I want to find out is what if two people had a child to later have another child that has the same gender and genetic code of the first. So let's just jump into it. Let's just look at one of the child's chromosomes first, and why not color code it? If the child's father had his chromosome as orange-blue and his mother as green-red, what are the chances that the child's chromosome is green-blue? Well, it's a 1/2 chance that the child receives the green chromosome from her instead of the red one, and it's also a 1/2 chance that the child received the blue chromosome from the father rather than the orange one. And so the chance of the child having green and blue is 1 out of 2 to the power of 2, because you multiply the two probabilities together. And of course, you need to do this 23 times to account for each of the 23 chromosomes. So now the problem looks like 1 divided by 2 to the power of 2 times 23. But if you want two children to be the same gender, you need to double the whole probability. So you add 2 to the exponent. Next, you need to simplify the equation. Simplifying it looks like this. 1 divided by 2 to the power of 48. And by solving that, we can get our probability. Lo and behold, the chance for having your sibling have the same gender and genetic code as you is, holy cow, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, 1 out of 281,474,976,710,756. To put this into comparison, if you were to buy a 6-number lottery ticket every time you had a kid, you would have won the lottery 20,128,624 times before having one kid that has the same genetic code as the first kid you had. Another comparison. If every human that ever existed on Earth came from the same mother and father, it would be a 1 out of 2,606 chance that one of them would be a genetic clone of the first kid that they had. But these statistics would only work for a human, because other animals have different amount of chromosomes. Dogs have 39 chromosomes, which makes them 65,536 times less likely to get a genetic clone. Cats have 19 chromosomes, which makes them 256 times more likely to get a genetic clone. Let's change the topic for a moment. The jackjumper ant is a species of ant that is especially notorious for being the most aggressive and dangerous ant in the world. Its venom has the ability to kill a human in just 4 minutes. But unless you live in the land down under, you don't need to worry about these guys because they're native to Australia and other parts of Oceania. Let's talk about ants. A colony of ants depends on one or more queens. The worker ants build the colony, get food, and tend to the eggs and larvae of the colony. However, all the worker ants are female. So how do they reproduce? Well, after the ants hatch, the females go to work, and the male's only purpose is to mate with the queen and then die. It's a sad life. How does this relate to genetics? The other thing about jackjumper ants is the males have 1 chromosome, and the females have 2. It's very hard to see a living male ant, so instead we will use the female ants in our example. Every worker ant has 2 chromosomes and are all female, so with that information, we know that 2 out of 16 ants that are within roughly an hour of age are genetic clones of each other. That's crazy. Why does all this matter? Knowing about genetics and how many chromosomes things have is crucial if you want to clone something. You You heard me right. Scientists in North Korea have already cloned several hundred dogs and have begun working on humans. All of this would be impossible without the knowledge of genetics that we have today. Conclusion. Is it possible to get a genetic twin of yourself that is older than you? Yes, it's just extremely unlikely. As the number of chromosomes decreases in an organism, the more of a chance there is for a genetic clone. You aren't 1 in a million. You're really 1 in 281,474,976,710,756. Everyone is unique, and when you are down, just be glad you aren't a male jack jumper ant. Thank you all for watching. These videos take a long time to make, so please consider liking, subscribing, and turning those post notifications on. Become a citizen of Llama Town.